English, whatever. Okay. So the others can also let us know. That way we have like a idea that, how should we go forward. Right. So we have quite a few students joining us. So I think Shruti will take 2 more minutes and then we'll start.
Sure.
Okay, so we have another English. All right. So guys, what we'll do is we'll try to keep it like a good balance of Hindi and English book, right? Okay. So guys, till the time other people are joining in the next 1 minute, do you very quickly want to tell us where you people from? So in the chat box, you can just probably share where you from. Yes, we have a YouTube channel as well. Okay. All right. So I think the link for the YouTube channel has been shared in the chat box. So if anybody wants access to that, you can go over that. Right. Guys, can you tell me which screen is visible to you right now?
The YouTube one, Priyanka.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is the YouTube channel, guys, and there are a bunch of videos available that can be very helpful. So you guys can actually go over it and see all of these videos. If you have any questions, you can comment in the chat box and we can address those questions. Okay. Can you help me with what's visible now?
Again, yeah. Now the
complete screen.
Yeah, complete.
All right. Lovely. Okay. So I think we'll start for today then.
Sure. I think we have a bunch of very engaging and energetic students with us today. So I am Shruti. I am a success coach and a counseling psychologist here at Peak Mind. And today we have with us Ms. Priyanka. Priyanka, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Shruti. So hi, everyone. I'm Priyanka, and I'm also a well-being and success coach at Peak Mind. I'm a psychologist, and today we're going to be doing this very interesting session with a lot of you. So I just request all of you to please make sure that you're interacting. If you're comfortable, turn your cameras on, and let's just make this session really fun. So we're like an odd 50 people here in the room. So I feel like we can make this a very fun and engaging session so that it's not boring for you to attend, not boring for us to conduct, right? So let's just make sure we're all interacting and we're all super energetic throughout it. Thank you.
Definitely, Priyanka. I think as in when you guys get a little familiar with our faces, we encourage you to switch on your cameras. So before we actually begin the session and go on to what we are going to be talking about, I want to quickly give you an overview of what we do at Peak Mind. Right. So Peak Mind is an organization that guides and supports individuals from all walks of life across age groups and specifically students like you all to achieve and manage various occurring concerns, right? So our team comprises of IIT and IIM alumni as well as counseling, clinical and industrial psychologists like Priyanka and I. Now, as you can see on the screen, Compete is a segment under Peak Mind that exclusively focuses on guiding students and teenagers like you all to deal with a lot of concerns like exam stress, academics, right? Managing academics, managing time, to name a few, and many other things as such that aids you to become the best version of yourself, right? So with that, today we are here to tell you about how to manage distractions, which is, I think, by far one of the most most asked problem questions, we have received from students like you. So today we are going to mainly learn, what is basically distraction, right? What are some of the types that you need to be aware of, and most importantly, some very, very interesting and practical strategies in order to manage distractions, right? And some of the ground rules, like Priyanka already mentioned, is that in order to get the best out of this session is to be participative, right? Ask questions, without thinking they are silly, right? I think everyone has questions, and no question is a silly question. So if and also if it is comfortable for you, do switch on your cameras so we can see you in this virtual world. All right. So to begin with, we have a short video that we would like you to see, and then we can have a brief discussion after that. So I hope you enjoy this video. Priyanka, you can play it. It's not audible. Priyanka, can you switch on the computer audio?
17 घंटे 17 घंटे 17 घंटे है तेरे पास। अगर ये 17 घंटे तू अपनी लाइफ की सबसे अच्छी पढ़ाई कर गया तो एग्जामिनर भी तुझसे 17 घंटे नहीं छीन सकता। चल, ये चैप्टर अभी नहीं यार, ये बहुत टफ है। अरे ये तो एंड में हो जाएगा, बहुत ही इजी है। ये ठीक है। अरे पर इसके लिए तो 17 घंटे है ब्रो, इतने में तो तू 2 बार सिलेबस कर लेगा। अरे छोड़ ना यार, चाय पी लेता हूँ। यार ये फोन मुझे पढ़ने नहीं देगा। नहीं नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। सौरभ फोकस, कॉन्सेंट्रेट कॉन्सेंट्रेट सौरभ। अरे अरे यार, क्या प्रॉब्लम है इनका? पेपर लीक हो गया? नहीं सौरभ नहीं, पास होंगे तो अपने दम पे, वरना फेल ही सही। मुझे नहीं चाहिए ये सब। देख लो, अरे इसमें से तो आधे क्वेश्चंस मुझे ऑलरेडी आते। सलोनी को फॉरवर्ड कर देता हूँ, वो इम्प्रेस तो हो ही जाएगी पक्का। शील भी थैंकिंग में है।
अरे नॉनसेंस। अरे सलोनी सॉरी, एक्चुअली वो रूमर था। वैसे भी तेरा तो सब हो गया होगा ना? अरे हाँ, वैसे तेरे को वो नोट्स वाले रागिनी मैम चाहिए थी ना? रागिनी मैम वाले नोट्स चाहिए थे ना? हाँ ठीक है, भेजता हूँ। अब भी भेजता हूँ। ओके ओके, बाय, थैंक यू।
Okay. Did everyone like that video? Did you guys find it interesting, or did you relate to it?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly, we relate to it.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about the others?
So Vaibhav sent a laughing smiley, so I think he can actually
Yes, ma'am.
relate to what was happening.
Okay, that's great. That's great that you guys, kind of can relate to it. So, this video really shows that there are distractions in everybody's life, right? Like, when I could also relate to this video back to when I was studying, right? So this is a very relatable video. So from there, I would like you to, tell us that what is the one thing that kind of distracts you the most, and kind of hinders your performance. Can you give me one? Can each of you give me one response? You can put it up in the chat so that we can pick it up from there.
One thing, you can raise your hand also, so we can ask you to respond one after the other.
Yes.
So we have responses, a lot of them, some mobile phones and internet, YouTube. For a lot of people, it's their mobiles and the internet. And I think I can relate with a lot of you. Like, our phones have become our best friends these days. So it's a little difficult to sort of part with them. And they are a major source of distraction. Then we have social media, mobiles again, family, Gauri says, and then we have mobile procrastination. So that was something that the guy in the video was doing. He was very heavily procrastinating. All right. Is anybody else who wants to add to that?
Environment around us, procrastination, mobile. Anyone else? Sleep. Okay.
Arjun says, thinking you have all the time in the world. And then someone says that the TV is also sort of, something that's distracting for them.
Different thoughts.
Lack of sports due to COVID. Nothing without internet and mobile. All right. Overthinking. Okay, so there are a lot of responses. So basically, larger themes are like, not being able to meet your friends, different thoughts, your mobile, internet, social media, TV, family. So these are some of the things.
Wasting time in different thoughts, Ayush says. Priyanka, can you hear me?
Yes, Shruti, audible.
Okay, all right. Now that we have, all of y'all could kind of relate to this video and, also share the distractions that you guys are, kind of facing on a regular basis, right? Probably like, everybody said that, mobiles are the most distracting. I agree, mobiles, YouTube, right? Social media apps. These are some of the major distractions that we see on a regular basis, right? Now, most of the distractions that you guys mentioned, right, and you put in the responses, it falls into either of the two categories or the two types of distractions that are there. Okay, one is internal distractions and the other is external distractions. Now, what are internal distractions? Internal distractions can be your own thoughts. Many of you said, right, overthinking, right, or thinking about thoughts and emotions, right? These affect your performance on a given task, and these are called as internal distractions, right? It comes from within you. And like I said, it can include emotions about life circumstances, some of the fears you might have, like, for example, can I actually do it, right? Or you're worried about an exam, worries, negative thoughts, am I going to fail, right? So these are the internal distractions. And when we talk about the external distractions, like all of y'all rightly pointed out, these are basically phones, social media, websites, YouTube, video games, Netflix. There are so many things, right? So it can also include other people, right? Noises around you that affect your basically your ability to kind of concentrate or focus on a particular activity, right? Now that you know what distracts you, right? And there are two types of distractions, right? Another question that I want to really ask is, how do you feel, right? How do you feel when you are distracted and you're unable to complete an assignment or a task in your hand? Like, what do you feel? Anybody?
That we should do our work next time, and in which thing we have distracted, do that.
Sorry, Priyanka, I'm having a bit of a problem with the audio. Did you hear what he said?
Yes. So Aryan mentioned that the thought that comes to his mind is that, you should focus on the task that's there for him to do and sort of like put all his energies in that.
Okay, all right. And I can see some more responses: irritation, confusion, frustration, guilty. Okay, all right. Okay, Parth tries his best. All right. Bad, feels bad sometimes, right? I know, I agree. Weber. What about the others? Any other feelings that you have when you feel distracted. Angry, very rightly said, Shrizel. When we want to complete something and you don't, can't complete it because of the distractions around you, you feel angry and frustrated, right? And mixed feelings. I agree with that too, Harshal, because it's just not one emotion sometimes, right? Feel bad when distracted, frustrated, stress. Simar says stress. Absolutely, absolutely. Frustrating moment. We lose our confidence. Okay, want to destroy all distractions at that time, right? You want to throw away all your distractions, but many of the times we don't understand how to do that, right? Overlook and lie to oneself. Okay, just saying to yourself that no, probably I'm not distracted, right? Something was not going well. Okay, all right. Okay, I think we have covered a lot of the emotions that you are kind of going through because of distraction, and it is natural, or it is quite normal to have these emotions like worry and tension and anxiety and sadness, anger, right? That really shows that there are some things that we really need to kind of acknowledge, and we need to kind of fix in order to move away from that distraction, right? Some of the things, what can we do while we are distracted? So before coming to that, let us look at what we call the distraction cycle. Okay, and let me know after this if you all relate to this. Okay, so after say a day of trying really hard and not kind of making it, or not able to finish the task, have you again ever promised yourself that this time it is going to be different, and you'll be 100% focused and you will not let any distractions get in the way, right? But the next thing is 2 hours later, right, you have checked your WhatsApp, your Facebook, all your social media, and also played a couple of games, right? But what you haven't done is the task that you had in your mind, or what you haven't done is study. And since you got distracted, you feel guilty, and then you start to worry about the future, right? What will I do? What will I do for the exam? I don't know anything, right? And that leads you to feel powerless, right? Powerless and demotivated. Like many of you said, you don't feel like doing it, right? You feel like, okay, I cannot do this task anymore, I cannot study anymore. And then what happens? This demotivation again leads you to being distracted, and this cycle repeats itself. Do you all relate to this cycle that is up on the screen right now? This ever never ending cycle of distraction?
Yes,
Anybody
ma'am.
agrees?
Yeah, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am. I have done it my entire life, ma'am.
Okay, all right, okay.
Harshit says maybe sometimes Aryan and Kalpana say yes, that they have gone through this. So guys, this cycle might look different for all of you, right? There might be different elements, but like some or the other time, like whenever we experience distraction and all the other feelings, this is something that happens to a lot of us. And I think a lot of yeses in the chat box are just confirming what we're talking about. So Vaibhav also says it's a
Yes,
vicious circle. I agree.
right. And do you guys also think that you want to kind of break this cycle, and sometimes you don't know how to do that? Do you guys feel that as well? Right. Kritika says yes. Sometimes feeling clueless as to, how do I get away from these distractions? Like it's getting to me. Can't take it anymore. All right. A lot of yeses on the chat. Aryan says it's a big problem. I agree, Aryan. It is quite a problem. And that's why I would like to know, before, helping you kind of deal with these distractions, I would like to know, how do you guys, actually deal with the internal distractions that we were talking about, the worry, the tension, the helplessness, the guilt, the anger? How do you actually deal with it right now? What are the strategies that you take up right now? Can anybody share with us?
Ma'am, by getting more pleasure.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Ma'am, by getting more pleasure out of those activities which couldn't,
Okay, right.
because of those I couldn't work.
Okay, right. You try to immerse into those distractions more so that you do not have to kind of acknowledge those feelings, right? That's what you mean?
Yes, ma'am, I tend to waste more time.
Okay, you tend to waste more time, all right. And try to focus on our aim. I try to calm myself and think that I will try to start new, all right. Get refreshed and start the work again. Simar says by taking a deep breath and trying to focus again. Harshal says having productivity in our life, motivating ourselves. All right, making a strong aim to not distract, all right. To neglect, Vaibhav says, to just ignore it. Spending time with family, right? Okay, Aryan says internal distractions can be ignored, but the problem is external distraction, all right. Vaibhav says more neglect. All right, okay. Now I can see that all of y'all are using one or the other technique to kind of, trying to move away from the distractions, right? So before we begin to actually talk about, in how to deal with these internal distractions, I'm going to specifically start with the strategies right now. But, for those people who just joined, say 10 minutes late, can anybody kind of, recall as to what we begin with, what all we covered? Any volunteers that could help, who could help us with, what all we covered till now? Quickly, very quickly. In the chat is also fine. What did we start with, guys? For the this is the question for all those people who joined us from the very beginning. Anybody would like to go?
Can I? May I?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Firstly, we discussed the types of distraction, how we get distracted by what means.
Right.
Then we discussed types of distraction. There are two types of distraction, internal and external. Internals are basically thoughts, emotions, circumstances, fear, worries, and negative thoughts. External distractions are phone, social media, other people, and noises.
All right. All right.
And then we discuss how do we feel when we are distracted.
Okay.
So we discuss various types of feelings that we feel bad, guilty, irritated, frustrated, and many more.
Right. And then what did we come to?
The distraction cycle.
Right. Distraction cycle, which we are at right now. Can I have your name? Sorry, I can't see you in the in my chat. Can I know what is your name?
Gauri Bandari.
Gauri, thank you, Gauri. Thank you for beautifully explaining to us and, giving a little bit of a revision to the rest of the group. Now that we have looked at, the distraction cycle and, now that we know that we need to break it, let's move to the first strategy. Okay. So the very first strategy that we have is called worry postponement. Okay. So worry postponement, as the name itself suggests, is basically postponing your worry to a later designated time purposefully. Okay, purposefully, and not pondering over it when it actually occurs. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what it exactly means and how we can kind of do it on a regular basis. Before that, let's watch this video and see what very famous singer Alicia Cara has to say about worry postponement, because she uses it.
Hey, I wanted to talk about, because I was talking to the audience earlier, and a lot of people are talking about how it's really important to have representation on people that are struggling with depression or anxiety, because a lot of people struggle with it and they think people in this business, or you have success or money, we don't have any of those problems. And you've been very, very outspoken about that. You set aside, which is interesting to me, you set aside 30 minutes of worry time. Mm-hmm. Most people are worrying the rest, just 30, like
30 of not worrying. Yes.
Yeah. But how do you just set aside 30 minutes of worrying?
It's difficult. This is something that my therapist brought up to me. She'll be very happy that I'm shouting her out, so shout out to you. Saved my life. And yeah, so she kind of, wanted me to do this exercise to kind of show us that we are in control of our minds, no matter how, difficult, no matter what's going on in there. You can control it, because oftentimes it feels like a tidal wave, especially anxiety and worrying, and those feelings can feel larger than you. But she was like, just when you, I guess for some reason, when you set aside a time and you know throughout your day that you're gonna have those 30 minutes and you can kind of see them, you can postpone it. And I started noticing, because I was giving myself that time to only worry, I was like pushing it aside in my day, and I could like live a little bit easier because I have those 30 minutes. And during those 30 minutes, I just literally sit there and worry, or like talk to somebody and just vent and worry and get stressed. And then when the 30 minutes are up, you put it away.
It's a great idea to try.
Okay, so now that we know, it helps even celebrities who have so many worries and so many things are going on for them in different areas and different dimensions. Like, let us also give it a try, right? Because these are all tested, tried out and tested, proven techniques, which will really help you to kind of deal with worry. So the first step with reference to that is to setting a worry time, okay, close to the end of the day. For example, making
hey,
it
I wanted to
6:30
talk about,
PM,
because
right?
we were talking.
All right. So I'll just repeat the step again. So the first step is to set a worry time close to the end of the day, okay? And make sure that this worry time is not too close to bedtime. So for example, if you're setting a worry time, say for 6:30 PM, right? Make sure you sleep, if you're sleeping at like 11 or something, that's completely fine. But if you're sleeping at 11 and then set your worry time at 10, that's just not the right way to do it. Mainly because it can hinder your sleep, right? So keep a minimum 2 hours gap between your worry time and bedtime, right? And the second step that you need to do is briefly write down the topic of your worry on a piece of paper or diary. For example, okay, throughout the day, in a day, for example, you are sitting to study a specific subject, right? And suddenly a thought pops up, and you say to yourself, "Can I really complete a chapter in physics today? It's already half day done, and I'm not able to do it." So what you will simply do is, at that point of time, you will write down the topic of your worry, right, on a piece of paper or a book that you can maintain for this, right? And then what you will do is you can simply use a breathing exercise. Some of you all already said that you use breathing exercises, or you take a deep breath and try to calm down, right? So at this point, what you will really do is use a breathing exercise. For example, you can use the 3-3-3 breathing, wherein you breathe in for 3 seconds, right? Breathe in, taking 3 seconds. You hold your breath for 3 seconds, and you exhale, taking 3 seconds, right? So what this exercise will do is, it will bring your focus back to the present moment or the present task that you are doing, and not the thoughts that are worrying. And post this, what we need to do is take immediate action as to doing something that is the most practical, right? For example, taking a short break and getting back to your physics chapter that you were worried about, right? And the final step is, when your worry period arrives, right? For example, if you have set it at 6:30, when your worry period arrives, what you really need to do is reflect. Look at that sheet of paper that you wrote the worry in, reflect on what happened, and what happened when you postponed the worry, right? How did it make you feel during the worry period? Did it cause you to worry less at that point during the worry period, right? So this way, postponing your worry will really help you to reduce the intensity of the worry, the strength of the worry, right? You have about a specific situation, and over time, as in when you start to practice this on a regular basis, right, postponing your worry will come more naturally to you. And to kind of make things a little bit easier for you, right, we have a worry postponement diary, a handout that we will be sharing with you, right? So these are some of the prompts that are there, right? These questions are some of the prompts that are there that will help you to write about your worries. So it is a very easy way to maintain a tab of your worries, and the reflection also that you do, it becomes easier, right? And another aspect of this, of maintaining a diary like this, is that it will help you to become consistent in this practice, right? Because with all the strategies that we'll be sharing with you today, consistency is very important, right? Only if you're consistent, you will actually be able to kind of postpone your worry automatically, and that will help you to reduce the intensity of your worry. right? Any doubts with regard to the worry postponement diary? Any doubts that you guys are having? Any questions about this? You can put it in the comment box, or you can raise your hand. Okay, Vaibhav has raised his hand.
I think that's from the first question that we had asked them. So he forgot to sort of put his hand up. Okay, so guys, any doubts so far? Or are we all clear on worry postponement and how you can do that by either setting aside a particular amount of time or doing that, if you're someone who enjoys journaling, doing it through a worry postponement diary?
So I just want to tell you guys that, this might, sound probably not possible and all of those things, but, it will definitely work if you're going to do it on a regular basis. Like if you're going to do it today and then skip tomorrow, obviously that's not going to work. You need to be consistent. And Ayush asks, how do we get the diary? We'll be, sharing it through your email ID, Ayush. We'll be sending you a handout. Okay, all right. So, now that we have, it was a bit of a content heavy, right? We listened to a lot of stuff. So we have a small brain teaser for you, all right? We have the next question for you. So what I want you guys to do is, we're going to, you can like put the responses in the chat, right? The first question is, it belongs to you, okay? It's a riddle, but your favorite, but your friend uses it more. What is it? Any responses on this?
Our name.
Okay, all right. I think that was an easy one for this, right, Priyanka? This group, I think most of them have got it. I can see some responses in the chat as well. All right, great. Okay, and then we have the next question. Sam has 5 pens, Dan has 4 pens. Sam gives 1 pen to Dan, and Dan in return gives 3 pens to Sam. How many pens do Sam and Dan now have? Can I hear some responses?
Sam has 8 pens and Dan has 2 pens.
Okay, all right. 8
Sam
and 2.
has 7 pens and Dan has 2 pens.
Okay, all right. Gauri said that. Vaibhav, yeah, you can go ahead.
Ma'am, Sam has 7 pens and Dan has 2 pens.
Okay, Parth, thank you, Ayush. All right, okay. So most of you all got it right. Sam has 7 pens and Dan has 2 pens. All right. Now with that, I think, the first segment of this, the first strategy that we covered. Now Priyanka is going to take us through the, more interesting strategies that you can use, make use of in a day-to-day basis. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Shruti. So what I'm actually observing is that there are a lot of people who are joining us right now, and they're probably watching us through the YouTube live. So sorry to the ones who already heard it before, but guys, I'm just very quickly going to tell all the new people joining us, what are we talking about? So hello, everyone. We are talking about managing distractions today. I am Priyanka, and along with me, I have Shruti, who's my co-facilitator. Right. So far, what we've done is we've spoken about how distractions affect us. We as a group have discussed that how your mobile phone, internet, family, noises around you, your sleep, all of these things can actually act as really, really strong distractors, right? And then we spoke about that, you can actually divide these distractors into 2 types. So one is internal distractor and the other is external distractor. So your thoughts, your feelings of fear, anxiety, things like that are internal distractors. And then when we talk about, noises from outside, your mobile phone, internet, social media, these are all external distractors. After talking about these distractors, we looked at a distraction cycle, right? Where we saw that a lot of times what happens is that we get distracted once, and then we decide that we probably won't do it again. But then because we are not very consistent in, maintaining that thought and that line of action, we tend to experience guilt and anxiety and other emotions. And this cycle tends to, continue. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at certain strategies that will actually help us break this cycle and manage our distraction really well, right? So we discussed the first strategy, and that was worry postponement. So basically what we did over there is we spoke about how, sometimes there are certain thoughts in your mind, or there are certain things that you're experiencing that tend to worry you a lot. And because of that, you get distracted, right? So we're going to do this activity where you actually decide that I'm going to give half an hour in the day to, postpone my worries till that time. And only in that half an hour, I'm going to think or overthink about all my worries, right? So what you're basically doing is you're giving yourself a stipulated amount of time, and you're not letting your thoughts or your negative emotions actually overshadow your entire day and affect the tasks that you need to do and your productivity, right? So that was the first one. Now we look at the second strategy that will actually help us manage our distractions better, and that is this. Okay, so is there anyone in the room who's ever seen this diagram before? Just a quick yes or no will do. Anybody? Okay, so Anisha says that she's seen it. All right.
No.
Okay, no. Okay, so a lot of you have not seen it. All right. So I have a question for you guys. Like, okay, Subhajit, you've raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Shubhajit just says no in the chat.
Okay, all right, great. So people, have you all experienced this? And I want to hear from all of you. But there are certain times of the day when you feel like really fresh and really energized, and like you want to take on the world, like, do everything that you need to do. And then there are other times where even though you might have a lot of work and a lot of important work, you're still not able to do it because you have like this very blah or a feeling going on. Anybody? I would like to know from all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, I feel it.
Okay, all right. So a couple of yeses in the chat box as well. All right.
Yes.
So guys, what happens is like a lot of times, in our mind, what we think is that, okay, I've slept 8 hours in the day, right? Like I've recharged my human battery, and now I'm going to get up and I'm just going to go throughout the day, right? But that's not how the human body functions. And if you're able to understand this, then we'll understand what are the times of the day when we get like a little bit distracted, right? When we feel a little bit off, and then we can use that understanding to help plan our day better, right? So what you see on the screen, right, this diagram, it's a diagram of something that we call ultradian rhythms, okay? So ultradian rhythms are basically biological rhythms that happen in your body, and these are 90-minute rhythms. So what happens is that, there are times of the day when our body and our mind are supercharged, and then there are other times when it's super low. So as you can see, on the screen, there's this time when arousal happens. So like you start getting energized. Then there's a top performance period. Now, during the top performance period, a lot of energy is used by you. It could be cognitive energy or physical energy. So when that happens, your body experiences a little bit of stress. It loses the energy and it goes into recovery phase. So a lot of the times, when you're like, let's say that you've decided, okay, I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to study from 7:30 to 9:30 or till 10 o'clock or till 12 o'clock. Now, once you start studying at 7:30, you will feel that, okay, 7:30 to 8:30 went well, 7:30 to 9 o'clock, 9:30 it went well. And then suddenly, maybe somewhere around 10, you'll start feeling like, okay, maybe I want to have my breakfast, or I'm not feeling that great, or what I'm reading is not going in my mind. So that's the period, like, when your body experiences stress. And if you take a very, very thoughtful break at that time, if you go into the recovery period, you take a break and get your all energy together, what happens is you'll be able to get into the cycle of another 90-minute period where you'll be able to find time for top performance. And, this cycle can keep repeating, right? So guys, have you all understood like what's happening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, super.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. So now what happens is people, whenever like the time we experience the most amount of distractions. Was someone saying something? Okay, all right. Okay, so the point that I wanted to drive here is that, there are times in the day when you get distracted a lot, or there are times in the day when you're getting distracted, but you're not able to get a hold over it, right? So the period of stress is that time. Like it's that time when, sometimes you're not able to take control of your distractions. So when I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I know that my first 2 hours are super productive in nature, right? And like, even if I have some distractions, I have the mental capacity to be able to control myself. But as soon as 11 o'clock or something comes, I'm like distracted. I don't want to work that much. So that is the time when, like, we get super distracted. We leave the tasks that we are doing and things like that happen. So now that we understand this, it's important for all of us to identify what are our top performance or top energy periods throughout the day, right? So whatever important things that you need to do, you schedule those important things during the top energy period, right? So what will happen, तभी क्या होगा guys, that अगर आप लोग, like अगर आप लोग, if you're, let's say अगर आप distract भी हो रहे हो, तो आपके पास mental energy होगी अपना distraction control करने के लिए. Your brain will be able to help you, right? Otherwise, like जब हम stress period की बात करते हैं, अगर तभी आप अपना काम भी कर रहे हो and there are other distractions also, दिमाग के ऊपर बहुत overload हो सकता है and you might not be able to control yourself, get distracted and stop doing your task. So there's a very simple way in which you people can do this. आप लोग एक notebook बना सकते हो, like you can have a piece of paper or a diary and you can write your time slots. So let's say अगर आप सुबह 7 बजे उठते हो, तो आप सुबह 7 बजे से लेके रात को, let's say अगर आप 10 बजे सोते हो, तो आपको सारे टाइम स्लॉट्स लिख लोगे आवर्स के हिसाब से, राइट? एंड फॉर अ वीक आप क्या कर सकते हो, आप मार्क कर सकते हो उसके ऊपर that at this time I feel high energy, at this time I feel hungry, at this time I feel like my energy is low, and maybe at this time I feel like my battery is gone and I need to sleep, right? So अभी आप अगर ये डायरी एक हफ्ते के लिए मेंटेन करोगे, what you'll observe is that you'll be able to find what are my top performance periods or what are my high energy periods. So whatever are your important things that you should not get distracted on, like you need to do your math sums, you need to learn that answer for history, or you need to do that experiment in science. You put all of those very important things during your top performance hours, and during the stress and recovery period, just relax and enjoy the things that you want. Okay, have we all gotten this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Super, super. So guys, this was the second thing that you can do to make sure that you're able to manage your distractions, right? So when we talk about managing distractions, guys, it's not necessary कि आप हर ऐसी चीज करें जो directly distraction को cut करने के लिए. Sometimes आपको process changes करने पड़ते हैं जिसकी वजह से आप अपना distraction manage कर पाओ, right? So this was one such strategy. All right. So now, because in this strategy we spoke about taking breaks, right? So taking breaks is a very, very important way of managing your distractions. अगर आप सही टाइम पे ब्रेक लोगे तो आपकी बॉडी और माइंड दोनों क्या होता है, वो दोनों एनर्जाइज हो जाते हैं. फिर आपके पास उतनी पावर होती है कि आप अपना टास्क बराबर से कर पाओ. So we'll discuss here that आप, when we talk about taking breaks, what type of breaks should you be taking? So a lot of times क्या होता है, like let's say you're studying for an hour, you want to take a small 10-minute break, and then you want to start studying again. But you use your phone and you open Instagram or you open, your YouTube, and you start watching reels and you start watching shorts or you start watching videos, and then you just watch those things for like hours and you could never come back to study, right? So wo break mein, like whenever you're taking such breaks, it's important that you don't go back to your devices, you don't go to social media, but you use your breaks in a healthy manner. So the first thing that you can do during these breaks is actually do some brain gym activities. So आप अगर इंटरनेट पर जाओगे तो बहुत सारी ब्रेन जिम एक्टिविटीज अवेलेबल हैं, and these activities are really, really good. I'll tell you why. That's because one, they help you manage your distraction. Second is, अगर आप इनको consistently practice करोगे, ये आपका focus और concentration बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ा देते हैं, right? तो जब आप ये activities करते हो तो आपकी जो brain की wiring होती है, आपका brain इस तरीके से wire होता है कि आपका जो capacity to focus या आप जितने time concentrate कर सकते हो वो बढ़ जाता है, right? So the first thing that you can do is do brain gym activities. So very quickly, guys, I'll show you one brain gym activity and we'll try to do it together. Okay, are we all ready?
Yes.
Okay, super. So it's a very, very simple one, guys. Very simple one. So if you guys want to like turn on your cameras, that's also great. But if you guys are, if you're not comfortable, that's all right. But I want all of you to do it along. So what you're basically doing is you're going to use both your hands, right? Just for your information, your hands and your nerves and all are connected to two parts of your brain, right? So आप जब भी activities करते हो, आपका brain एकदम energized हो जाता है. So basically, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to come back here and you're going to do it to the other hand, right? So you're basically doing this. Have you guys gotten it? Okay, so
yes, ma'am.
All right. So can we do like 5 rounds of this, everybody, together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, super. So let's start. So basically start here and then you go forward. And you can do it as fast as you can or as slow as you can based on, how you're starting. You have to remember to come to the middle. Yeah? Guys, did we all do it?
I can see a lot of
Yes,
people
ma'am.
trying
Yes,
to do
ma'am.
it, Priyanka.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
ones that I can see on the camera switched on. That's great, guys. All of y'all are trying. I can see Simmer's doing it. I can see Ayush doing it. Shravan is trying very nicely.
There's someone that I can see who's sort of making a small error while doing it. So I'll just show it to you guys again. People, you basically come together beach mein and then ek haath pe, and then wapas beach mein and dusre haath pe. ठीक है? So we're coming together, one hand, then again, then the other hand. So
Very
because
nice.
it's new, you can start slow. आप लोग slowly कर सकते हो, and then जैसे you get used to it, you can do it in a fast manner. ठीक है? Okay. So it's lovely, guys, that you're all doing it, and thank you so much for doing it along with me. So I would really, suggest to all of you guys that go on the internet, and there are a lot of them. Like there's this one, like, this is also there. So they're like these really fun activities, and they really help you build on your concentration. So this is one thing that you people can do. All right. Let's look at the next thing that you can do, and that is stretching, right? So people, like, nowadays you have online classes and you have like your tuitions and everything's online. You're sitting on the computer, you're sitting for a really long amount of time, and your body gets tired of all of this sitting. Like it might not feel like it, but internally your muscles hold tension, right? So from time to time, make sure that you're doing some stretching. So some simple, just like doing this, like stretching your hands a little bit, back, front, moving your neck a little bit, like some rotations. Like these are some things that you can do on a daily basis. So अगर आप सुबह से स्कूल के लिए बैठे हुए हो, just to make sure that your body sort of gets that energy again, maybe after every 2 lectures you can do like these small stretching for 1 or 2 minutes. All right. And then let's look at the next thing, and the next thing is exercising and moving, right? So people, we sit, like as a generation, a lot of us sit a lot of time, right? And when we sit for a really long amount of time, our brain also sort of sits down. It does not have the energy. It's not tingling. It's not bursting with ideas. It's just like low and mundane, right? So it's very important that you spend some time moving around every day. If you're somebody who likes to exercise, you can do different exercise, squats, jump, jog, run, whatever you like. If you're somebody like me who probably does not like to exercise so much, just put on your headphones, put on some music and do some crazy dance. Like just, shake your hands off, or like, just move your shoulders a little bit. Or like something that I enjoy doing is I like put like really high music and just like move around randomly. Doesn't make any sense. I'm doing stupid stuff, but like, my body releases all my tension, right? So these are some of the things that you can do. Is there anyone here who sort of likes to move in that manner, like in a very crazy manner, or just like, it's not like बहुत coordinated movements करने, you just move however to release tension? Is there anyone here who does that?
Yeah, Gauri says.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Lovely.
Yes, I like to do that when I am completing notes.
Okay. All right. So that is like a small break that you take. All right. Okay. So guys, like there are a lot of things that you already might be doing. The thing is that I want you to be a little bit more, sort of mindful about it and do it with purpose when you do it going forward. Vedant says he just like moves round and round. I think, Vedant, that is something that makes you really dizzy, but I think that's a really fun thing to do. All right, lovely. So guys, whenever we're taking breaks, especially जब भी आप पढ़ रहे हो या आप वैसी चीजें कर रहे हो, if you're taking short breaks, make sure you're not going to, your cell phone or things like that. Take mindful breaks. Do these things. क्या होगा, इससे आप energized भी feel करोगे, and आपके brain के पास भी cognitive energy होगी कि वो वापस अपने task पे वापस आ सके, right? Because if you go to social media, there's literally no guarantee if you will be able to come back. Yeah. All right. So guys, the all the strategies that we discussed so far had all got to do with internal distractions, right? Very quickly, I want you guys to go over these questions and respond in the chat box. Yeah. So first question is, do you get distracted by people watching TV in the same room? So I think there was somebody who had mentioned this in the beginning.
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so a lot of yeses. Great. Let's look at the next one. Do you feel distracted with the constant notifications that come on your phone? It could be Instagram, WhatsApp,
Yes, ma'am.
messages. All right.
Yes.
So we get distracted by messages. I think that's super, super common. And a lot of us share that. Okay. Let's look at the next question. And that is, are you not able to study because you don't feel comfortable in your study space? Like, does it happen that you feel like this is too claustrophobic, or like, it's too cluttered, or like there are too many distractors? Okay, I says sometimes. All right. How about the others?
We have some responses in the
Yes,
chat as well.
sometimes. Okay, so some of us like have good study spaces and we feel conducive, but for the others, it could be a little bit distracting. Got it, guys? Okay, and lastly, do you feel distracted because you don't sit at your table? Like, you know, if you have like a designated space, if you
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
sit there, you might feel distracted. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
a lot of you will be, all right. Some of you don't get distracted, but then there are others who get distracted. Okay, it's like, you know, to each his own. Some of us can manage sitting in different environments and still making it work for us, but for some of us that might not be the case. We might need that designated area to do it, and that's absolutely okay. All right, okay. So guys, what we saw is that there are certain things like, you know, in our environment that can also become distractors. Like in the beginning, we discussed mobile phones, internet, and things like that. So we look at what are some of the things that we can do to make sure that these external distractors do not distract us going forward, right? So because so many of you had mentioned mobile phones and the internet, we first addressed managing your electronic devices. Now, guys, this could be anything. It could be your laptop, your iPad, your Kindle, your phone, your iPod, anything. Okay. Whenever you guys know that there is a certain task that I need to do, कि मुझे 1 घंटा पढ़ना है या मुझे ये assignment complete करना है या ये project complete करना है, whenever you know this, what you're going to do is a few things, right? So the first thing that you can do is actually turn your device off and keep it aside. I know sounds super difficult to do. We might not be comfortable doing this, but this is something that you need to do for yourself, right? Because if your phone is right next to you, if your phone is on loud and if it keeps on ringing, like there is, I don't think there's any person who's able to like, you know, completely sort of not look at that or not focus on that and keep continuing the task that they're doing. So one thing that you can do is that absolutely turn off your device and keep it aside. That way you know that only once I'm done with the task that I'm doing, I'm going to go back to my device, right? Okay, all right. The next thing is that something that you can do is if you feel like that you don't want to turn on your device because there might be some important messages coming in or certain calls, whoever you trust in your family, right? So whoever you have like full faith in, you give your phone or your device to that person, you ask them to keep a check in case something comes and alert you. So that way you don't have to constantly be occupied with the thought that अरे किसी का message आने वाला है, अरे कुछ होने वाला है. You know that if something important is there, there's someone ready to tell you about it, right? And then the next thing is, or something that's super, super important, and I think it's also something that we can all do, is use certain applications in our phone, right? Which actually help us set timers of certain tasks that we need to do, or they give us an idea that, okay, you spend so much time on an application, so maybe it's a good idea to drop your phone right now and do something else, right? Drink water, move around, something like that. So these are some of the things that you can do to manage your electronic devices. Guys, do we all get it? And I think somebody had raised their hand in between. Was it Priyanka Yadav? If I'm not. Any questions, Priyanka? Same name, by the way. Okay. Shruti, did you get any questions per se? Okay, all right, no questions. All right. So Vedant says in the chat box that devices are not distraction, they actually addict us. That's very, very true, you know. Vedant, like right now, because of, let's say, the environment, the pandemic and all of these things, devices have actually become like a major distractor, and they've also become like something that we're super attached to, right? I wouldn't say addicted for all of us, but we've become super attached to. So that is why it's very important that we develop that discipline of being able to disconnect ourselves from it, right? So when we talk about you know, you can use certain applications, you can give your phone off to somebody, you can consciously turn your phone off and keep it aside so that you are able to build that disconnect. Because as much as, you know, these devices are super helpful for us, they also, you know, come at the expense of our time and sometimes our mental health as well. So we need to be very, very mindful of that. Okay, Aryan, you've raised your hand. You want to ask something? Yes.
Can you tell about some apps like that, means name of that apps?
Sure. So as far as I remember, there's this one app called Dstop. I think you can just check. But in the meantime, maybe Shruti, you can help us with some applications that can help us sort of, you know, block, you know, certain
Priyanka, I'll just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat and that everybody can see.
Sure. So Aryan, like, you know, Shruti will put some options for you in the chat box. So, you know, that will be visible for you. Okay. So yes, Rizal, the session is for 1 hour. And I know that we are sort of nearing that time. But there were a lot of people who joined in pretty late and we sort of spent some time over there. So we might extend by a little bit. I hope that's okay with a lot of you. It'll just take a few more minutes.
Yes.
Oh, so all right. So guys, that was the first thing. And with managing electronic devices, guys, you know, it can be super, super difficult because you're not the only one who's going through this. I'm a psychologist. I know all the tricks of the trades to be able to stop myself from seeing my phone or my emails. But even I struggle with it, right? So it is something that happens like time by time. You need to do it every day. So just make sure that you're doing it, right? Okay. Then the next thing is that the next point is managing your study space and time, right? So some of you said that, you know, you can sit in the same study space and that sort of helps you concentrate better, whereas for others it was okay. So, you know, sometimes when you really don't want to get distracted and you want to sort of remain, you know, maintain a stream of focus, it can be helpful that you know, study at the same place, or you identify a designated area for yourself, a designated time for yourself, like those high energy hours, and actually do the tasks that are super, super important or require a lot of require a lot of cognitive energy during those times, right? So what you can also do is, guys, you can build like a consistent schedule or a timetable for yourself. So this helps you sort of identify that, okay, I'm going to spend 7 to 8 studying, but after that 8 to 8:30 is my free time, and I'm, you know, I can do whatever I want to do, and I can entertain myself by watching videos, or I can, you know, talk to my parents or engage in some mind break activities. That's your choice, right? And lastly, it is about decluttering your study space. So the reason we are talking about a study space a little bit here is because all of you are in school. पढ़ाई करना आप लोगों के लाइफ का एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट है, लाइक यू नो गेटिंग गुड स्कोर्स एंड कंप्लीटिंग योर सिलेबस. ये सब चीजें हैं जो आप लोगों को डे टू डे बेसिस पे करनी ही पड़ती है. Now, if you're studying in a study space that's very, you know, cluttered, like बहुत सारी बुक्स पड़ी हुई हैं, कचरा पड़ा हुआ है, खाने की चीजें पड़ी हुई हैं, मल्टीपल डिवाइसेस पड़े हुए हैं, so ये in itself, you know, like काफी distracting हो सकता है हमारे लिए. So it's important that wherever you sit to study, you be very, very mindful that, you know, you're making sure that that place only has the things that you really need. So maybe a small timer clock जो आपको, you know, देखने में मदद होगी, okay, ये time हो रहा है. So maybe keep your phone aside at a distance, your books that you need, your, you know, stationery, whatever, your calculators, whatever required, and just keep all of that in your study space. Nothing extra, दूसरी टेक्स्ट बुक्स नहीं, कोई और चीज नहीं. जो भी आपको तभी के लिए चाहिए, आप सिर्फ वही चीजें अपने स्टडी स्पेस में रखिए. Are we clear, guys? Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, lovely. All right. So guys, these are some of the things that you can do to make sure that, you know, you deal well with the external distractions. Also, because, you know, we all are staying in our homes, and, you know, we have our other family members, we have our siblings and other people. So कभी-कभी ये हो सकता है कि वो आवाज करे, you know, टीवी की आवाज है या कोई और चीज है. तो अगर आप कभी, you know, self study time ले रहे हैं, if you're sitting down to do something important, what you can do is you can actually, you know, make a schedule and also share it with your family members and tell them that, you know, okay, at this time I'm going to be doing something very important. So it would be nice if you people could keep the volume to a little bit low, right? So not telling them कि आप टीवी बंद कर दो, बात ही मत करो. That's not possible, right? That's not reasonable. But you can tell them कि आप volume थोड़ी सी decrease करो. So, for example, जब हम ये workshop में आ रहे थे, like 10 minutes before the workshop, I actually went out of my room and I told my mom, my workshop starts, it's going to be there for 1.5 hours. So I request you to please turn the volume down. And also, like, if you guys want to talk, you know, just talk a little bit low and don't enter my room, right? So ऐसे उनको भी पता चल गया that I'm doing something important, so they are not going to disturb, right? So that is also something that you can do. Communicate, right? It's very, very important. Communicate. Okay. So I think there was a question in the chat box, which Shriti's already answered it. Shrizel, if you have any more questions, you can ask us that. All right. So people, what we've done is we've looked at distractions, what they are, how they affect us, and then we've looked at certain strategies for internal distractions and certain for external distractions. So very quickly, would anyone like to tell me what can you do for internal distractions? Very quickly, guys.
Breathing exercise, yoga, meditation.
Okay. What else? Aren't you what audible?
Exercise for brain.
Okay, brain exercises, lovely. Okay, brain gym. When you have like too many thoughts, what can you do?
Worry postponement.
Super, worry postponement. What else, guys? Okay, all right. And also for internal distractions, what you can do is you can identify your top energy hours and you can make your schedule accordingly, right? So this is what we discussed for internal distractions. For the external distractions, guys, what are the 3 points very quickly?
To keep away your device from yourself.
Superb.
Managing electronic devices.
Great. Next.
Managing study space and time.
Superb. And the last one?
Decluttering study table.
Great. And also communicating, right? So whenever you have identified something important for yourself, to avoid external noises and distractions, you communicate to the people around you that I'm doing so and so things, and please do not distract me. All right. So people, like you can see on the screen, your real competition is really not anything else but managing your distractions, dealing with them, and letting them not affect your productivity or the way you're completing your tasks, right? So I hope all the strategies that we have discussed today, sort of in a way, help you really manage your distractions. And other than this workshop, we have a few more things that can actually help you people, let's say, study well, manage your emotions and your thoughts well. So I'll very quickly walk you people over that. Okay. So people at Peak Mind, like Shruti spoke about in the beginning, compete. The segment that we have has got to do with students like you. आप जैसे बच्चों के बारे में जो स्कूल जाते हैं, जिनके competitive exams आने वाले हैं, या आप 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade में, and these are the really important years where you need to focus on your academics, extracurricular activities, and so many of these things, right? So there are a lot of things that happen, and it's important to address these things and talk about them. So आज हमने मैनेजिंग डिस्ट्रैक्शंस के बारे में बात किया, जो हमारी प्रोडक्टिविटी में बहुत कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, राइट? बिकॉज अगर आप अपने डिस्ट्रैक्शंस नहीं मैनेज कर पा रहे हो, आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी बहुत कम हो जाती है। ऐसे ही बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हमें जिसके बारे में हमें बात करना चाहिए, and you people should know the techniques. So what we've done is we've come up with boot camps. So these are very small 5-day courses that you can do with us, and here we talk about things that are super important for you, right? And we talk about how can you sort of deal with these things or learn these skills. So right now we have 2 boot camps that are happening in the next few days. One is on productivity and the other is called 21st century skills. So basically in workshops में, productivity वाले workshop में हम productivity कैसे increase करनी है और अपना time कैसे अच्छे से manage करना है, उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. So we talk about goal setting, habit formation. We talk about we talk about how to deal with procrastination and things like that. So that boot camp has got to do with that. And then we have another boot camp called 21st century life skills. And here, basically, we talk about all the skills that are very important for you to have in the 21st century, right? We all know that वक्त बदल रहा है, there are a lot of things that are changing, evolving, and we also need to evolve with that, right? Like हम ये नहीं बोल सकते that I'm not going to think creatively or I'm not going to solve problems. We all have to change with time. So in that boot camp, we basically talk about all of these things, and we give you small strategies and we give you some fun activities to do along with us that actually help you learn these skills and also inculcate them in your day-to-day life, right? So people in the chat box, what is done is that there's a link that has been shared. So if you open that link, ये दोनों programs के लिए registration करने के लिए it's that link, and साथ में एक discount code भी दिया गया है. So the program is for a certain amount of money, but for all the people who joined us today, if you guys use this particular code, which is PM Bootcamp, you'll actually get a certain amount of discount, right? So you guys can open the link, and if you feel like these programs seem interesting to you, you guys can actually go ahead and you can, put the link, you can put in your details, you can use the discount code and actually register for these programs. So the 21st century skill program is actually going to start from coming Monday. So if there's anybody who wants to learn about decision making, problem solving, adaptability, creativity, the time is to actually go on the link right now and register yourself, right? And the productivity bootcamp is actually starting from the 31st of Jan, right? So it's going to sort of go on from Jan end to Feb first week. So for that also, you'll find the registration link there. You'll find the registration in the link that's put in the chat box. Other than this, guys, because we are a bunch of psychologists who work here, and we not only address these things, but also other things, like if you're going through something in your personal life, if you need anything. So we are also offering one-on-one complimentary sessions. So it basically means that, it's like a small coaching or counseling session where you come in, and let's say I come in or Shruti come in or some other psychologist or counselor or coach comes in, and we talk to you, and whatever problems or whatever issues that you have, we help to, sort of deal with them, we address them. So if there's anybody who wants to avail this one-on-one complimentary session, you can also do that, and someone will put the link in the chat box for that. So this was about the boot camps that we have, guys. I really hope that you all give this a good thought, right? Talk to your parents about it. And I think that it can be super helpful for the lot of you. So let's
Priyanka,
yes,
Priyanka, I would just like to show the landing pages, once they click on how they can book the session or the boot camp.
Sure. So I'll stop sharing and you can share your screen. Yeah.
Sure.
Lovely. Okay, so guys, we'll just take another 5 minutes and then we'll end for the day. So Abhishek will very quickly show you how can you book the sessions, right?
So guys, once you click on the link, which is the bootcamp link, which we have posted, you will be directed to this page where you see all the details about the bootcamp, right? You need to click book now, which will take you to the next page. There you will see both the boot camps that Priyanka mentioned, which is productivity and 21st century skills. You need to apply the code which we have shared it with you, which is PM bootcamp. Once you hit apply, you will see that price changing to 50%. So there is an exclusive 50% discount for all of you if you avail it till tomorrow, end of the day, right? So if you're availing it tomorrow, till tomorrow, if you're enrolling it, you can just add and you can click proceed to fill in all your details. So this was regarding the bootcamp, which is beginning from Monday. Now, next thing which Priyanka told you about is a one-on-one session. Now, once you click that link, which is there on the chat box, you will see a bit.ly link which is posted. You will be redirected to this page. There you can just fill in your availability for the one-on-one session. For example, I'm available. I as a student want to take it on 25th of January. I can just select the date and the time. So you can see slots over here. So like, let's say I want to take it at 3:45 p.m. and then book my meeting, right? And then you need to fill in your email ID, contact number, and name. And once you hit book now, book session, your session will be booked and you will be receiving a Zoom link for that. So this is how you do that. All these details will be shared with you over an email. We'll be using peakmind.in email ID. So search for it. If you can't find it in your primary folders, please check your spam. Sometimes it lands in the spam or promotional folders, right? So all this information will be given to you, and also we'll be sending you a text message also. So do remember to fill in your feedback form, because basis that we will be giving you this offer, right? Thank you. Over to you, Priyanka.
Okay, I was on mute. So thank you for that, Abhishek. Guys, I hope that you all understood this. Also, in the chat box right now, there's a link that's been sent. So that's the attendance link for today. So it's also sort of a feedback form to know from you people, how did you like the session? If there's anything more that we can do for you during, when we have these sessions going forward. So please make sure that you open that link and you fill it up. But other than that, guys, we're done for today. The session's done. Thank you so much for interacting with a lot of us. If there's anyone here who has any questions, you can unmute yourself right now. You can ask us those questions. Or if you're, let's say, not that comfortable, you can either message Shruti and I, and we can address your questions. But thanks a bunch for interacting with us, guys. You were a very, very good audience, and I saw a lot of great responses. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, Priyanka, I also agree. I mean, it was such a fun experience because so many of them switched on their cameras. And also, we really hope that, you had a lot of takeaways from this this workshop today. And we hope to see all or some of the same faces in our upcoming boot camps. All right, we have some yeah.
Thank you, people. It would be really great if you could fill the feedback form. So that just gives us an idea of what we can do better going forward. And like Shruti said, we are waiting to see a lot of you during the boot camps. Guys, we've done it quite a few times now, and the students love it. We keep it very activity oriented and very interactive. So I'm sure that you all have a lot of fun and you learn a lot of skills that are very, very important and beneficial for you. So hoping to see you there.
Yeah, Vedant says, thank you, ma'am, for beautiful session. Thank you, Vedant, for being a very good participant.
Thank you, everybody.
And Aditi also says, thank you, guys.
So students, do remember to fill in the feedback form, right?
Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, everyone,
for joining us. Hoping to see you soon.
Yeah.
Guys, also feel free to book the one-on-one sessions. We really love interacting with students like you on a one-on-one basis, and there we can talk about any and everything under the sun. There's really nothing that you cannot talk about. So feel free to come, talk to us, and we'll help you with whatever you need.
Priyanka, I think there was one part which was left in the presentation. It was the testimonial part. Can you just
Sure. Okay.
So it is soon. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so for the ones who are still filling sort of the form and who are still here with us, I'll just very quickly show you guys a video. So it's about the students who, I just mentioned to you people that we've been doing these boot camps, we've been doing this for quite some time now. So a testimonial of some of the students who joined us for some of the boot camps. So I see that there are 70 odd people here. So, you guys can just look at the video when we are actually filling the form.
It was a very fun and enjoyable experience overall, and I like the fact that I got to learn. I got the opportunity to learn something new every single day in the 5-day workshops, and I think that whatever I learned really helped me, and now towards the future I can plan out my things much more easily, and I don't think I'll stress as much as I used to. And it was very fun. I did a lot of games with you guys, and yeah, I'm very happy I got the opportunity to do it.
I really enjoyed the boot camp. I've learned a lot of new things, and I think they'll really help me in the new school year. So.
Guys, that was the testimonial or sort of a short feedback by some of the students who have joined us. So, like, you could also hear from them. It was really fun. It was interactive. There were a lot of fun activities to do and great learnings to take away. So, I hope that you people join us and we'll make it as fun as possible for the lot of you. So guys, now if you people have any questions, you can ask us those questions. Otherwise, you guys can fill in the form, the feedback form that's there in the chat box, and we can ensure today. Thank you so much once again.
And I have filled the form.
Great. Thank you so much, Aryan. Have a really good night.
Thank you, Aryan.
Thank you, ma'am.